top of the afternoon on this wet and very cloudy Wednesday afternoon, where it appears that the rain's come back. Anyway, I've been shopping and I'm back home safe and sound with a new book, The Journal of a Ghost Hunter, Simon Marsden. (1994), quarto-sized paperback book full of tales, mystery, legend again. And there's the house there, look, we're in Ireland. And this is Tullynally Castle, County Westmeath. And the title is The Hanging Ghost. It's gone really dark out there now, so quite appropriate that we have this delve into, as it were. Let's have a little lubrication of the throttle. Are you sitting comfortably? Oh, I shall begin. Tullynally Castle, County Westmeath, Ireland there now. A massive turreted gatehouse dwarfs the peaceful Irish countryside. Beyond the long twisting driveway leads to a vast castellated mansion, surrounded by an 18th century park and pleasure grounds. This is the Irish seat of the Earls of Longford, whose ancestors originated from Suffolk in England and were granted lands here in the 17th century in return for their military services to the Crown. Like so many other Anglo-Irish families, they were soon to fall under the spell of this magical country. I was greeted by Valerie Peckham, the wife of the present owner, and she gave me a tour of the interior, including the magnificent Great Hall, which rises through 2 stories of the house. Over lunch, she spoke of the family's distinguished history, their military pedigree, and how the sister of the 2nd Earl of Longford had married the Duke of Wellington, no less. Now they are cultivating a strong library dynasty. Her husband Thomas is a historian, his elder sister Lady Antonia Fraser a novelist, and their father Lord Longford, the controversial campaigner against pornography, has published several titles. When I raised the question of whether the house was haunted, Valerie Peckham said that she had heard stories but had never seen anything herself, and felt very much at ease with her surroundings. However, there is an elderly lady who has lived for the past 20 years in the east wing of the castle, and she has definitely seen something. I spent some time in the company of this charming lady, who told me that many years ago the butler of the household had fallen in love with one of the cooks, but she spurned his advances in favour of another man, and he tragically hanged himself in one of the smaller towers of the castle. The tower has now been converted into a flat. When some tenant saw his ghost in the corridor one night, they left the next morning. Wonder why? Perhaps they got tired of hanging around, eh? She herself had seen the butler's ghost in broad daylight on the roof of the castle, and then again in the gardens, when her dog had gone absolutely berserk, she said. The apparition was dressed in a long frock coat, but she was unable to discern any features, which is a common thing with apparitions. I've seen several here, but you can't actually see the features. You can see the outline and the shape of the person, and you can actually recognise that person if it's a family member who's passed over, purely by the shape and the hairstyle shape. Some weeks later I spoke again with Valerie Peckham, who said that I should call a friend of hers in Northern Ireland who had recently stayed at Tullynally and seen a ghost. The following is her description of the sighting. Right, let's have a look. I had attended a concert with my husband and gone to bed late. At around 2 a.m. I woke and the room was fairly light, as we had left the electric fire on to keep warm. I clearly saw the figure of a young woman in her 30s standing by the fireplace, staring at us. She wore Victorian clothes, a black top and long red dress. As I sat up, she faded away into nothing. I was not at all afraid, she said. Since childhood I have seen several ghosts and none of them have frightened me, except one time when I was staying in a house in England and the apparition of a small boy appeared to me. I was later told that he had died in the same room a year before. She added that when she had described her experience of the night before to her hosts at breakfast, they seemed unimpressed, as if it were merely a part of the everyday life of Tullynally Castle, and entirely unremarkable. Let's have another look then. There you go. It's a different one, isn't it? Tullynally Castle, with the ghost of the log butler who hanged himself after being spurned by the cook whom he loved. Look at that. Would you spend a night in there? I think I could spend a lifetime in there. How beautiful. How wonderful. I could get to love it. Thanks for coming and having a look. The Journal of a Ghost Hunter. I shall see you again. That's the first delve into this book. We shall have another look another day, or perhaps another night. See you soon. All the best until then. Bye bye.